The alarm screamed through the Galactic Council chambers. Ambassador Velrin of the Virani species stumbled forward, his thin legs shaking. The emergency transmission crackled with static and terror. Please, anyone who can hear this. We are under attack. This is the Virani colony on Theta 7. We need help. We have no weapons. We are scholars. We have children here. Please, someone help us. The voice belonged to Colony Administrator Maresh. Velrin knew him personally. They had studied stellar formation together decades ago. Now his friend's voice was breaking with fear. The council chamber fell silent. 23 species represented there, all of them herbivores or peaceful omnivores, none of them warriors. They had built their civilization on trade, knowledge, and mutual cooperation. War was something they read about in ancient histories. The peacekeeping fleet is 19 days away, High Counselor Thane said, her tentacles curled with distress. We have no one closer. The transmission continued. Screams now. Weapons fire. The sound of structures collapsing. They're in the education center. Oh stars, the children. Please, we surrender. We surrender. Don't hurt the line went dead. Velrin collapsed into his seat. 3,000 Virani lived on Theta 7. Researchers, teachers, families. They grew crystalline gardens and studied ancient languages. They had never hurt anyone. The council sat frozen. They could do nothing. Their fleets were designed for transport, not combat. Their ships carried sensors and laboratories, not weapons. They had forgotten how to fight because they never needed to. There is one option, a small voice said. Everyone turned to look at Counselor Preet of the Lixian Federation. She was the newest member, barely 5 cycles in her position. We could ask the humans, she said quietly. The chamber erupted. Voices overlapped in every pitch and frequency. The Deathworlders? Are you insane? They come from a Class 12 gravity world. They're predators, I've seen the reports. They have wars, actual wars, thousands of them throughout their history. They eat meat. They have forward-facing eyes. They show their teeth when they're happy. Velrin raised his hand for silence. His mind raced. Humans. Yes, they terrified most of the council. They had joined only 10 cycles ago and everyone kept their distance. Humans came from Earth, a planet so hostile that most species needed environmental suits just to visit. The gravity alone would crush a Virani. The weather patterns were violent. Predators roamed the surface. The humans had evolved in that nightmare and somehow thrived, but the humans had also never broken a treaty. They traded fairly. They shared their technology, and their ships were fast. Impossibly fast. Contact them, Velrin said. Please. Those are my people dying. High Counselor Thane's tentacles stiffened. She did not like this, but she activated the emergency channel to the Terran Defense Fleet. Across the galaxy, Captain Sarah Chen sat in the command chair of the TDF Retribution. Her ship was on patrol near the outer rim, mapping asteroid fields for potential mining. Boring work, but necessary. The emergency signal flashed red across her console. Captain, Priority 1 distress call from the Galactic Council, her communications officer said. It's marked critical. Chen straightened. The Council never contacted them unless absolutely necessary. Most species still acted nervous around humans like prey animals near a predator. Put it through. High Counselor Thane's face appeared on the screen. She looked terrible. Her skin had paled to almost white. Captain Chen, we have a situation. The Virani colony on Theta 7 sent a distress signal 47 minutes ago. They were under attack. The transmission ended badly. Our nearest fleet is 19 days away. Your fleet is the only one in range. We need your help. We are begging you to help. Chen felt her blood turn cold. She pulled up the star charts. Theta 7 was 6 days away at maximum burn. 6 days. Anything could happen in 6 days. We're on our way, Chen said. Retribution out. She switched to shipwide communications. All hands battle stations. Plot a course for Theta 7. Maximum velocity. Engineering. I want every gram of thrust you can give me. We have a colony under attack. The Retribution came alive. Crew members ran to their stations. The massive engines roared to full power. Around them, the other ships in the human fleet received the same orders. Chen pulled up everything she could find about the Virani. Peaceful people. No military. Population on Theta 7 was 3,000. Mostly scientists and their families. Commander Marcus Webb entered the bridge. He was her first officer, a veteran of Earth's last major conflict. Do we know who attacked them? He asked. No intel yet. Council is sending everything they have. Chen stared at the screen showing their course. 6 days. They were pushing the engines beyond safe limits, but 6 days was still too long. Whatever happened on Theta 7 was probably already over. But humans didn't give up. It was something about their evolution, their biology. They were persistence hunters on Earth. They chased prey for days until it collapsed from exhaustion. They bonded with pack members and would die protecting them. The Varani weren't human, but they needed help. And humans had learned long ago that if you had the power to help and chose not to, you were just as guilty as the ones who caused the harm. Maintain maximum burn, Chen ordered. And someone get me everything we know about pirates and raiders in this sector. Someone attacked peaceful colonists. Someone is going to answer for that. The retribution tore through space, engines blazing. Behind it, 12 more human warships followed. They were moving faster than any council ship could match. But in her heart, Captain Chen knew they would arrive too late. She just didn't know yet what that would mean for whoever had attacked the Varani. The retribution dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Theta 7 system. Every sensor immediately went active, scanning for threats or survivors. Captain Sarah Chen gripped the arms of her command chair. What they found made her stomach turn. "Report," she said quietly. Lieutenant Amara Jones at the sensor station looked up, her face pale. "Captain, I'm reading no active power signatures on the planet. No communications. No life signs in the colony area. There's debris in orbit. Looks like destroyed satellites and cargo ships." Chen closed her eyes for a moment. They were too late. She had known it in her gut, but knowing and seeing were different things. "Take us in. Standard orbit. Prepare landing teams. Full medical support." The human fleet moved into position around Theta 7. It was a beautiful planet, blue and green with pink clouds in the atmosphere. The Varani had chosen it for its peaceful nature and abundant plant life. As they got closer, the sensors showed more detail. The colony had been burning. Several structures were completely destroyed. Others were damaged by weapons fire. Chen stood. "I'm going down with the first team. Commander Webb, you have the ship." Webb nodded. "Be careful, Captain." 30 minutes later, Chen's boots touched the soil of Theta 7. The air smelled wrong. Smoke and something worse, death. The landing team spread out, weapons ready. They moved through the colony carefully. Buildings stood empty. Personal items scattered everywhere as if people had dropped them while running. Lieutenant Rodriguez emerged from a dwelling, his face grim. "Captain, you need to see this." Chen followed him inside. 3 Varani bodies lay on the floor. A family. The smallest was a child, maybe equivalent to 6 human years old. They had died trying to hide. "This wasn't warfare," Rodriguez said quietly. "This was murder." They moved through the colony, finding more bodies. The Varani had been cut down where they stood. Some showed signs of trying to surrender. Others had been shot while running away. The education center was the worst. Dozens of small bodies. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the fleet's chief medical officer, examined the scene with professional detachment, but Chen could see her hands shaking. "Most died from energy weapon fire," Tanaka reported. "Quick deaths at least. But Captain, look at the patterns. They were herded into groups first. This was organized, methodical." Chen felt something cold settle in her chest. This wasn't a battle. This wasn't even a raid for supplies. Someone had come here to kill everyone slowly and deliberately. "Keep searching," she ordered. "If there's even one survivor, find them." 2 hours later, Sergeant Maria Santos contacted her. "Captain, we found someone. Barely alive. Get medical here now." Chen ran to the coordinates. In the ruins of what looked like a library, they found a young Varani female buried under debris. She was conscious but badly injured. Dr. Tanaka worked quickly, stabilizing the injuries while the team cleared space. The Varani's eyes fluttered open, focused on Chen's face. She flinched back in fear. "Easy," Chen said softly. "We're here to help. You're safe now." The Varani stared at her, at the forward-facing eyes, the predator features. But something in Chen's voice must have convinced her because she stopped trying to move away. "What's your name?" Chen asked. "Kelsara," the Varani whispered. I taught language arts. To the children. Can you tell me what happened? Who did this?" Kelsara's eyes filled with tears. "They called themselves Kravathi Reavers, pirates. They came 3 days ago. We tried to contact them peacefully. Administrator Murish offered them everything we had. Supplies, research data, anything they wanted. They just laughed." She took a shuddering breath. Tanaka gave her something for the pain, and Kelsara continued. They made us gather in the square, all of us. They separated the children from the adults. I begged them. We all begged them. They said they were teaching the galaxy a lesson about soft prey. Chen's jaw clenched. Go on. They started with the elderly. Then the children. They made us watch. Some of my students were only 4 cycles old. Little Petrin asked me why the bad people were hurting him. I couldn't answer. I couldn't protect him. Tears ran down Kelsara's face. I only survived because the building collapsed during the attack. They must have thought I was dead. I heard them leave, laughing, celebrating. Chen stood slowly. Around her, the entire team had gone very still. She recognized the look on their faces. It was the same look she saw in the mirror. Humans had evolved as hunters. Predators. They had forward-facing eyes to track prey, strong muscles to run for hours, the ability to work in coordinated packs, and something else. Something that made them dangerous when they needed to be. Humans were also pack animals. They bonded, they protected, and when someone hurt the pack, especially the young, something ancient woke up in them, something from the days when humans hunted megafauna across African plains. Doctor, get her to the ship. Best care we can provide, Chen said. Her voice was calm, but everyone heard the ice underneath. She activated her communicator. All teams back to the ships. We're done here. As they lifted off, Chen stared down at the ruined colony. 3,000 dead. Men, women, children. All of them peaceful. All of them helpless. Murdered for sport by pirates who thought they were untouchable. Back on the Retribution, High Counselor Thane's message was waiting.
Captain Chen, we have received your preliminary report.
This is a tragedy. We will pursue diplomatic channels to find those responsible and bring them to justice through proper legal proceedings. Please return to base so we can coordinate our response. Chen deleted the message. Commander Webb looked at her. Orders, Captain? Get me intelligence. I want to know everything about these Cravathi Reavers. Where they go. How they operate. Everything. And prep the fleet for extended deployment. The Council ordered us to return, Webb reminded her. Chen's smile had no warmth in it. The Council can file a complaint. Right now we have work to do. Lieutenant Jones pulled up her sensor logs. Captain, I tracked ion trails leaving the system. The Cravathi went toward the Obsidian Nebula, outside Council space. Of course they did, Chen said. They think they're safe out there. She looked at her command crew. They killed children who couldn't fight back. They made survivors watch. They did it for fun. The bridge was silent. The Galactic Council plays by civilized rules, Chen said quietly. Today we don't. The Cravathi wanted to hunt prey. Now they're about to learn what it's like when the prey fights back. High Counselor Thane's face filled the main screen of the Retribution. Her tentacles were coiled tight with frustration. Captain Chen, you have ignored 3 direct orders to return to base. This is unacceptable. The Galactic Council will handle the Cravathi situation through proper diplomatic channels. We have laws, procedures. You cannot simply ignore them. Captain Sarah Chen sat calmly in her command chair. Around her, the bridge crew worked at their stations. No one looked up at the Council transmission. With respect, Counselor, your laws and procedures work for criminals who fear consequences. The Cravathi are pirates operating outside your jurisdiction. They massacre colonies for sport. Diplomacy won't stop them. Then we will petition the regional authorities. We will gather evidence and present it to the proper courts. But we will do this correctly, Captain. We are civilized people. Chen leaned forward. Civilized people don't execute children. The Cravathi aren't people, Counselor. They're predators. And predators understand only one language. Captain, I am ordering you. Retribution out, Chen said and cut the transmission. Commander Marcus Webb raised an eyebrow. That's going to cause problems. Let it. How's the tracking coming? Lieutenant Amara Jones pulled up the sensor data. The ion trail is clear, Captain. The Cravathi fleet went straight for the Obsidian Nebula. It's a dead zone, no Council presence. Lots of interference from the stellar dust. Perfect place to hide. Or so they think, Chen said. She activated ship-wide communications. All hands, this is the captain. We are pursuing the Cravathi Reaver fleet that destroyed the Varani colony. I want everyone to understand what we're doing. We're not going to arrest them. We're not going to negotiate. We're going to hunt them down and make sure they never hurt anyone again. If anyone has a problem with that, speak now. Silence filled the channel. Then Sergeant Maria Santos's voice came through. Ma'am, speaking for the Marines, we're ready. Those bastards killed kids. Engineering standing by, Chief Engineer Park said. We'll give you all the speed you need. One by one, every department reported in. Ready, willing, angry. Chen nodded. Good, execute Protocol Apex. Webb's eyes widened. Apex? That's reserved for extinction-level threats. The Cravathi have killed thousands across multiple colonies, Chen said. They are an extinction-level threat to peaceful species. They proved that on Theta 7. We're going to remove that threat permanently. Protocol Apex was something humans had developed after their own bloody history. After thousands of years of warfare, genocide, and atrocities, humanity had learned hard lessons. They had sworn to never become monsters again. They built laws, ethics, systems of justice, but they also created one exception. When something threatened to destroy entire populations, when innocent lives faced annihilation, humans would become the very thing they feared. They would become the monsters, so others wouldn't have to. The transformation of the fleet was subtle but complete. Tactical displays shifted to predator tracking modes. Ships reconfigured their sensor arrays for hunting rather than exploring. Weapon systems that had been in standby mode came fully online. The crew changed too. Conversations became shorter, more focused. The casual friendliness that usually filled the halls disappeared. In its place came something older, something from humanity's evolutionary past. They were pack hunters now. And they had a scent. Lieutenant Rashid in intelligence brought his report to Chen's ready room. Captain, I've compiled everything we know about the Cravathi Reavers. They're a fleet of about 20 ships ranging from converted cargo vessels to actual warships. They've operated for 12 cycles, hitting soft targets across the outer regions. Estimated death toll is over 15,000. Chen read through the report. The Cravathi were reptilian, about 2 meters tall, stronger than humans but slower. They came from a low-gravity world which gave them advantages in space but made them vulnerable in direct combat on standard gravity planets. They hunt in packs, Rashid continued. They strike targets that can't fight back, take what they want, and destroy everything else. They never leave survivors except by accident. They're careful to avoid council patrols and military targets. Cowards, Chen said quietly. Yes, ma'am, but effective ones. They've never been caught because they're smart about picking victims and escape routes. Chen looked up. They're about to have a very bad day. What's their leader like? Reaver Lord Azrath. He's been leading them for 8 cycles. Intelligence suggests he was originally from a Cravathi military family, but was exiled for excessive brutality, even by his species standards, so he knows tactics. Yes, ma'am. He's not just a thug. He's a trained warrior who chose to become a murderer. Chen closed the file. Good. I'd hate for this to be too easy. 3 days later, word of the human fleet's actions began spreading through the galaxy. Rumors traveled fast in the criminal underworld. On a dark station in the Terminus sector, a smuggler named Vex heard the news from a contact. The humans went after the Cravathi? Are they insane? Those are the most dangerous raiders in the sector. His contact, a 4-armed Drellian, shook his head. You don't understand. The humans aren't trying to arrest them. They're hunting them, like prey. The crew that survived the Theta 7 massacre said the humans changed when they saw the bodies. Something snapped. Vex laughed nervously. Come on, humans are council members. They follow the rules. Remember the human saying we learned? Rules are for people. The humans don't think the Cravathi are people anymore. They're treating them like dangerous animals that need to be put down. The news reached the Cravathi fleet 3 days after they hid in the Obsidian Nebula. Reaver Lord Azrath listened to the report with amusement. The Deathworlders are coming for us? Excellent. Let them come. We'll add human corpses to our collection. His second-in-command, Dresh, was less confident. Lord Azrath, the reports say the humans are moving fast. Faster than any council ship. And they're not asking for our surrender. They just declared us hostile threats. So what? Humans are just another soft species that hides behind their council rules. The moment we fight back, they'll run crying to their authorities. But Dresh had studied the human files more carefully. He had read about Earth, about the wars humans fought, about the predators they evolved alongside and eventually conquered. My lord, perhaps we should relocate. The nebula won't hide us from military-grade sensors. Azrath laughed. You worry too much. Humans are talkers, not fighters. If they show up, we'll teach them what real predators look like. Deep in the Obsidian Nebula, The Crevati fleet sat dark and quiet, confident in their invisibility. They didn't know that 3 light-years away, 13 human warships were already closing in. Silent, determined, angry. The pack had found their prey's scent. Now came the hunt. The Obsidian Nebula was beautiful in a deadly way. Clouds of stellar dust glowed faintly with radiation. Dead stars littered the region, their collapsed cores pulling at space itself. Navigation was nearly impossible without advanced sensors. Perfect place to hide, the Crevati thought. They were wrong. The Retribution glided through the nebula like a shark through dark water. No running lights, no active sensors. The entire human fleet operated in complete silence, using passive detection only. They listened for energy signatures, heat traces, anything that would give away their target. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, watching the darkness outside. Her crew worked silently at their stations. They had been hunting for 6 hours now, moving deeper into the nebula with patience that would have surprised the Galactic Council. Humans were persistence hunters. They didn't need to be fast. They just needed to be relentless. Contact, Lieutenant Jones whispered. 23 heat signatures, clustered formation. Range 40,000 kilometers. Energy profiles match Crevati ship configurations. Chen felt her pulse steady. The moment of calm before action. Every human combat veteran knew this feeling. Tactical, do we have firing solutions on all targets? Yes, ma'am. All ships in the fleet have locked on. Weapons free. Target engines and weapons systems only. I want them disabled, not destroyed. Initiate on my mark. The human fleet adjusted position slightly. Weapons powered up silently. Targeting computers calculated trajectories accounting for the nebula's interference. 3, 2, 1. Mark. The darkness erupted with violence. Railgun slugs, moving at a fraction of light speed, crossed the distance in seconds. The first Crevati ship, a converted cargo hauler, never even raised shields. The slugs punched through its engines, causing a cascade failure that left the vessel dead in space. Reaver Lord Azrath jolted awake in his command chair as alarms screamed. What's happening? His sensor officer stared at his displays in confusion. We're under attack. Multiple impacts across the fleet. I can't identify the attackers. They're using projectile weapons, not energy. Shields up. Return fire. Where are they? I don't know, my lord. Our sensors can't penetrate the nebula interference, and they're not broadcasting any identification. Another Crevati ship lost power, its engines ripped apart by precision strikes. Then another. The humans were systematically crippling every vessel in the fleet, and the Crevati couldn't even see them. All ships scatter formation. Activate emergency protocols. But the human fleet anticipated this. As the Crevati ships tried to disperse, human vessels moved to intercept. They appeared suddenly on sensors, close enough to fire but positioned to avoid return fire. The coordination was perfect, practiced, like wolves cutting a herd. Within 30 minutes, 18 of the 23 Crevati ships were disabled. The remaining 5 made desperate runs for the nebula's edge, trying to reach open space where they could jump to faster than light. They didn't make it. The Retribution cut off their escape route. Chen's voice came through on all Crevati frequencies. Crevati vessels, this is Captain Sarah Chen of the Terran Defense Fleet. Power down your remaining systems and prepare to be boarded. Any attempt to resist will result in the immediate destruction of your ships. Reaver Lord Azrath's face appeared on screen. He was impressive looking, scales dark green, eyes yellow and cold. You dare attack us? We are the Crevati Reavers. We bow to no one. Chen's expression didn't change. You murdered 3,000 unarmed civilians on Theta 7. You executed children. You're not warriors. You're cowards who prey on the weak. Power down now. We claim the right of combat. We will fight you for our freedom. You didn't give the Varani the right to fight. You didn't let them defend themselves. You just killed them while they begged for mercy. Azrath's smile was cruel. They were prey. That's what prey is for. I see, Chen said quietly. Fire control, destroy the lead ship's bridge section only. Precision strike. The Retribution's main cannon spoke once. The beam was so tightly focused it cut through the Crevati command ship's bridge like a surgical laser. The section vaporized, killing everyone inside instantly. The remaining 4 Crevati ships immediately powered down. Let me be clear, Chen said to the surviving vessels. You can surrender or you can die. Those are your only options. You have 30 seconds. They surrendered. Over the next 6 hours, human Marines boarded every Cravathi ship. The pirates were rounded up, disarmed, and restrained. They expected execution. They had heard stories about human warfare, about how humans treated enemies. Instead, the humans were coldly professional. They secured each prisoner, provided medical care for the injured, and began detailed documentation of everything on the ships. Commander Webb supervised the interrogations. The Cravathi were arrogant at first, expecting to be treated like prisoners of war with rights and protections. "Where are your other bases?" Webb asked Dresh, Azrath's former second-in-command. "I will tell you nothing, human." Webb pulled up a holographic display. It showed the ruins of Theta 7, bodies of Varani civilians, the education center where children died. "This is what you did. These are the people you murdered. We found records on your ships. Theta 7 wasn't your first colony. You've hit 17 others over the last 8 cycles. All soft targets, all defenseless." Dresh looked away. "War is war. That wasn't war. That was slaughter. War requires 2 sides to fight. You never gave anyone a chance to fight back. The strong take what they want. The weak die. This is the way of the universe." Webb leaned forward. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to tell us about every colony you hit, every person you killed. Then you're going to help us find the other Cravathi Reaver cells. Because I promise you this, every single one of you is going to face justice for what you've done. The Council has no jurisdiction over us. We operate outside their space." Webb smiled grimly. "We're not the Council. We're humans, and we have different rules for people who hurt children." The interrogations continued for 3 days. The humans were thorough. They documented everything, cross-referenced testimony, built complete case files. Each Cravathi was forced to watch recordings of their victims. Names read aloud, faces shown, lives described. It was psychological warfare at its finest. The Cravathi had seen their victims as objects, as prey. The humans made them see the victims as people. Some Cravathi broke down. Others remained defiant. But all of them talked eventually. Captain Chen walked through the detention area where the prisoners were held. They watched her pass with fear in their eyes. She stopped at one cell. "Where is Reaver Lord Azrath's command staff?" "Separate holding, ma'am." "You said you wanted them isolated." Chen nodded. "Good. Prepare them for transport. We're taking them with us. The rest go to the Galactic Council with all the evidence we've gathered. But Azrath's inner circle, they're going to face human justice." "Ma'am, the Council won't like that." "The Council can file a complaint," Chen said. "These particular Cravathi killed 17,000 people across multiple colonies. They planned it. They enjoyed it. They're going to answer for every single death." In his cell, what remained of the Cravathi leadership realized something terrifying. The humans hadn't killed them in rage. They hadn't executed them in revenge. They were doing something worse. They were treating this like a criminal investigation, with evidence, with testimony, with courts and laws and sentences. The humans were going to make sure everyone knew exactly what the Cravathi had done before they faced punishment. The predators had been caught, and now they would learn what true justice looked like when delivered by a species that had perfected it through millennia of their own dark history. The transmission began broadcasting on every frequency, every channel across the entire galaxy. There was no way to block it or shut it down. The humans had made sure of that. On thousands of worlds, billions of beings stopped what they were doing to watch. The trial of the Cravathi Reaver leadership. Captain Sarah Chen stood before a panel of human judges, military and civilian. Behind her, in secure containment, sat what remained of Reaver Lord Azrath's command staff. Azrath himself was gone, killed in the precision strike, but his second-in-command Dresh and 7 others survived. This tribunal is convened under Terran military law. Clause 7, subsection 3, the lead judge announced. Crimes against sentient populations. Mass murder. Genocide. The accused are charged with 17,234 counts of first-degree murder across 19 separate incidents. The galaxy watched in stunned silence as humans did something no other species had ever done. They named every single victim. It took 6 hours, every Varani from Theta 7, every Lixian from the Corward colonies, every member of every species the Cravathi had slaughtered. Names, ages, occupations, families. 3-year-old Petrin, who wanted to be a stellar cartographer. 78-year-old Maresh, the colony administrator who had tried to negotiate. 26-year-old Kelsera, the teacher who survived. On and on the names flowed. The Cravathi prisoners were forced to listen to every single one. When the reading finished, the evidence presentation began. The humans had recovered data from every Cravathi ship. Communications logs, planning documents, video recordings the Cravathi had made of their attacks, laughing as they murdered civilians. The galaxy watched in horror as the true scope of the Cravathi's crimes unfolded. This wasn't warfare. This wasn't even raiding. It was systematic extermination for profit and entertainment. High Counselor Thane watched from the council chambers, her tentacles coiled so tight they ached. Around her, the other council members sat in shocked silence. "They're broadcasting this everywhere," Counselor Preet whispered. "Everyone in the galaxy is watching." "The humans want everyone to see," Velrin said quietly. "They're sending a message." The trial continued for 3 days. Every crime documented, every victim honored. The Cravathi tried to defend themselves, claiming might made right, that the weak deserved their fate. The human judges listened without expression. Then they delivered their verdict. Guilty on all counts. Sentence life imprisonment without possibility of parole, to be served at the Luna Maximum Security Facility. The accused will spend the remainder of their natural lives in confinement, with time for reflection on the lives they destroyed. No execution, no death penalty. The humans were keeping them alive, forcing them to live with what they had done. Dresch looked up at the judges with confusion. "You're not going to kill us?" The lead judge's expression was cold. "Death would be too quick, too easy. You will live. You will remember. And every day for the rest of your lives you will know that you are caged animals who can never hurt anyone again." The transmission continued with Captain Chen's closing statement. She stood before the camera, her uniform crisp, her expression hard. "To anyone watching this, understand what you've seen here. The Cravathi Reavers operated for 12 cycles. They killed 17,000 people. They targeted the peaceful, the defenseless, the innocent. They did this because they believed they were untouchable. They believed might made right. They believed the strong could prey on the weak without consequence." Chen paused, letting her words sink in across the galaxy. "They were wrong. Humanity came too late to save the Varani of Theta 7. We failed them. We will carry that failure for the rest of our lives, but we will not fail again." Effective immediately, the Terran Defense Fleet is implementing Shepard Protocol. A star map appeared behind her, showing human fleet positions spreading across Council space and beyond. "We are establishing rapid response stations throughout known space. Any distress call from any species anywhere will be answered by human ships within 72 hours maximum. We will not ask permission. We will not wait for diplomatic clearance. If someone calls for help, we will come." High Counselor Thane stood up in the council chamber. "This is unacceptable. The humans are establishing military presence throughout council space without authorization. This violates our sovereignty." But Velrin stood as well, his voice shaking. "They came when we called. They were too late to save my people, but they came. They hunted down the killers. They gave every victim a voice. What have we done? We sat in this chamber and debated while colonies burned. The chamber erupted in argument. Some species feared human military expansion. Others remembered that only humans had answered the call when it mattered. The transmission continued. Chen's expression softened slightly. "I want to be clear about something. We are not claiming authority over anyone. We are not demanding submission or tribute. We are not building an empire. We are simply saying this. If you are peaceful and someone threatens you, we will stand between you and them. If you have no weapons and someone attacks you, we will be your shield. If you cannot fight and someone tries to destroy you, we will fight for you." Behind Chen, Kelsara appeared on screen. The Varani survivor looked fragile but determined. "I was afraid of humans once," Kelsara said quietly. "They are predators. They evolved on a death world. They have weapons that can crack planets. But when my people were dying, when we sent our desperate call into the void, only the humans answered. They came too late to save most of us, but they came, and they made sure our dead were not forgotten." She looked directly at the camera. "The Cravathi told me that the strong take what they want and the weak deserve to die. Captain Chen told me something different. She said that power creates responsibility. She said that those who can protect others must protect others. I believe her. I trust the humans to guard our colonies now, because they have proven they care more about protecting life than about protocol." The transmission ended with Chen's final words. "To anyone planning to prey on peaceful species, To any raiders or pirates or warlords who think might makes right, understand this clearly. You're not just hunting prey anymore. You're entering territory guarded by sheepdogs, and we are very good at protecting our flock. She leaned forward slightly, and something ancient and dangerous flickered in her eyes. The Galactic Council was afraid of us because they thought we were wolves. They were right to fear us. We are apex predators from a death world. We have been warriors and monsters and killers throughout our history. We know what we're capable of. We know the darkness we carry inside us. But we made a choice long ago. We decided to use that darkness only to stop greater darkness. We became the monsters so others wouldn't have to be. So here's your choice. Leave the innocent alone and you'll never meet us in battle. But if you hurt the helpless, if you prey on the peaceful, if you make war on those who cannot defend themselves, then you will find us. And we will show you what it means when the prey fights back. The transmission ended. For 3 days the galaxy reacted. Criminal organizations scattered. Pirate fleets fled to the furthest reaches of known space. Raiders disappeared from shipping lanes. The message had been received loud and clear. Humanity was watching, and humanity protected its pack. On Theta 7, the human fleet established a memorial. Where the colony once stood, they planted a garden. Every flower represented a life lost. 3,000 flowers, each one labeled with a name. Kelsara stood in the garden with Captain Chen. Above them, the Retribution maintained orbit, a silent guardian. "Why do you care so much?" Kelsara asked quietly. "We're not your people. We're not even like you. Why risk yourselves to protect us?" Chen was quiet for a long moment, looking at the flowers swaying in the breeze. Each one a child, a parent, a friend. "Because we know what we're capable of," she said finally. "Humans fought each other for thousands of years. We committed atrocities. We destroyed each other over resources, beliefs, fears. We know what monsters look like because we were monsters once." She turned to look at Kelsara. "So we made a promise. We would only become monsters again to stop monsters. We would use our capacity for violence only to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. It's the only way we can live with our own history." "You're not monsters," Kelsara said softly. "We can be. That's what makes us dangerous. But it's also what makes us effective guardians. The wolves understand what the sheep never can. And we've learned to be wolves only when the flock needs defending." They stood in silence, watching the flowers dance. Across the galaxy, 13 human rapid response fleets took their positions. Silent watchers, ready guardians. The age of preying on the helpless was over. The Deathworlders had taken their position as protectors, and they would not fail again.